Now we have the future is here. This talk is here. Mark and Jim, here we go.
We're here to talk about the future, and we'll first apologize. As boomers, we created it, and we're really sorry. It's actually pretty scary. You look at it in some ways, and as like a scary movie where we're all actors, and starting off in a scary movie, some of us aren't going to make it, and a lot of people are going to get hurt. It's going to be hysterical. Some of us will be standing. It's really who.
We call this the dead cat bounce. Economists like to think of the economy sometimes as a dead cat. Imagine tossing it off the roof. It hits the ground, and it only kind of bounces up. So that's kind of where we see the future of this economy going. It's going to be a slow turnover.
So for us economic developers, trying to recruit companies in a dead cat bounce is really hard because there's no deals. And then, of course, there's no money. Banks aren't lending. Communities are all broke, and everybody's angry. So it's a really tough time as far as growing the economy.
Now, this is a new math formula here. The number on the far right basically says that we aren't reproducing fast enough to have enough good workers in the economy in the future. Now it's one person with two parents and, or excuse me, the other way around, right? Yeah, sorry.
It's actually a problem people aren't looking at. We didn't have enough kids. We're the first generation in history not to have enough kids to replace ourselves, and we're not educating the ones we had. And what it's going to create is a gap. The blue line on top was the number of jobs, and the red line was the number of workers. We're not going to have enough qualified workers. What that's going to do is it's going to switch the power in the relationship, in the hiring relationship. You're going to have power over your employers. They're going to be chasing you.
Cover of this Time magazine shows you that when you finally get a chance to have a job, you're not going to be going to work. You're going to be staying home. And that's actually an opportunity for all of you in the future that we're going to be talking about over here in the next few minutes.
So there's, location-neutral work. There's really three kinds of workers. There's those of us that are our own LLC owners. We're consulting from home or doing work from home. There's 1099 contract workers. Then you could be tethered to an employer. You could be a VP for marketing for IBM or somebody and working from home.
So basically, over the last 10,000 years, we've gone full circle. We started out in mud huts, and then we had the industrial era, and then we had Silicon Valley and other high-tech firms. But the exciting element is that in the future, place of work is going to be your home.
Okay. Anybody tries to make economic development complicated, it isn't. You want the economy of your community to grow faster than your population. The economy is going to scale to the population, so you want it to grow faster. It can't if there aren't enough workers to staff the economy. And that's the situation most communities are in. So these location-neutral, home-based workers are going to be the key to growing economies in the future. It's going to be almost impossible for most communities to recruit and grow companies. It's going to come down to the singles.
So like years ago with Norma Ray, bringing everybody together in a union, if you think about it, home-based workers are all apart from each other. But the reality is they have to start thinking about working together because they should be receiving the incentives that the Intels of the world have been given.
Another big factor, Richard Florida just put out a book, I guess, a year ago, where they've discovered statistically where you live is the most important factor that drives your happiness. More important than who you marry and the career you chose. Okay, so how do you know if your community really loves you and if they're going to have the ecosystem for you? Are they measuring you? Are they counting you? Are they giving you incentives?
So what's exciting is that Mark and I have been working on a new program. It's the first in the country that we've branded Live Work New Mexico. And rather than recruiting the Intels of the world, this program through the state of New Mexico is going to be actively recruiting individuals, home-based workers, to come to New Mexico.
Actually, we're going to be doing the same thing that economic development groups do for companies. You recruit them from outside, you try to grow the ones you have, and then you try to start them up. And starting them up are people that aren't working, they're sitting at home, they're not doing anything. Get them started up.
And what's exciting, there's so many benefits associated with this. Think about it. You don't have to build buildings. You don't have to drive to work. Think about latchkey kids. Now all of a sudden the parents will be there with the kids. There's all the social benefits and on and on and on. So it's an exciting time.
So the future's here. White has a a coefficient of 2 is we also think the future's here in Albuquerque. It's in New Mexico. And this is one of the ways we can grow our economy and really keeping the economy growing faster than the population. Thanks.
All right.